Hi, this is Kat, and you're watching Triple Threat Sports.
Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Triple Threat Sports. Let me begin by posing a question tonight. When the word displacement comes to mind, particularly internal displacement, what does one conjure up images of? Or corruption? Or corporate cronyism? What comes to mind when you hear those words? Is it war? Yeah, quite often. But we can also find something closer to home, and that is the Olympics. The Olympic Games, the sham symbol of global brotherhood. There's been much made about the Olympics in Sochi, in Russia at this moment. We've heard news reports of the mass slaughter of dogs, homeless dogs, indigent dogs, whatever. We know of the anti-gay legislation in Russia that was the subject of a lot of controversy and justifiably so. We've heard about brown water, yellow water, beds without pillows, etc. Cold weather even, although today was nice apparently. But what we don't hear of as much is the price tag of these games. $51 billion, which set a new Olympic record, was actually about $40 million over budget, and $30 billion of it is basically disappeared, and there's no record of it. Corruption like that is very obvious. Also, the site of the Olympics. Why did Vladimir Putin want the Olympic Games in this village of Sochi? Well, I can answer that. There is an answer for that. It was the site of the brutal repression of the Chechen people, of their uprising. It's a symbol of Putin's power, it's a symbol of his accomplishment in repressing the national aspirations of the Chechens. And that also, actually, the site itself, actually, there's been other minorities that have been oppressed by Russia in the past. Ironically, that's where the Olympics is now. And this is not the first time. The last Winter Olympics was in China. A $40 billion price tag. Again, a lot of corruption. We don't know where all that money went to. In China, 1.5 million displaced people. That means the government moved out at its own whim. 1.5, think about that number, 1.5 million people in order to build infrastructure for the Olympic Games. Infrastructure that's really never used much after the Games. Again, a showcase of repression. A symbol for a corrupt dictatorship to announce to the world, come do business here. That's what the Olympics have been in Russia and in China. And it's not the first time. 1988, Seoul, Korea. At the time, South Korea was not a democracy. The military displaced 720,000 people in Seoul in 1988 for the Olympic Games. Violently, even in a lot of cases, dispossessed people to build the infrastructure for the Olympics. Look at the protests in Rio in recent times, protesting the corruption of building the infrastructure for the Olympics and the World Cup soccer. The taxpayers in Salt Lake City for years were paying off. They ended up with a $1.3 billion price tag on tax after the whole thing went bankrupt, and Mitt Romney supposedly saved it from bankruptcy. Taxpayers still were stuck with $1.3 billion. Not to say nothing of the corporate sponsorship and the money the corporations give to the corrupt IOC for rights to sell their products at the Olympics exclusively, like Coca-Cola, like Nike, etc. Now, does anyone really want to argue with me that the Olympics are a symbol of global brotherhood? That the Olympics should be celebrated? That the games, the sporting events, I love sports, but the sporting events should be celebrated and watched and viewed in the midst of all that repression and corruption and displacement? I think not. To me, it's a disgusting business. Best to be ignored, best to be condemned, best to be boycotted. Let's hope we see it in the coming games. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Leonel Es El Rey, and I approve this message.